With the Age Discrimination in Employment Act coming into force back in 1967, the notion of age discrimination has a long history. Unfortunately, it's an issue that we still grapple with today, and whereas it's easy to assume it's only a problem for those in and around retirement age, a survey from Senior Living suggests it can kick in as early as our 40s. The study finds that around 1 in 5 workers over 40 have experienced age-related discrimination in some way at work, with this rising to 24% of those over 60 years of age. This wasn't confined to explicit discrimination, as jokes and harassment related to age were also sadly commonplace. The scale of the challenge was emphasized by a recent study from Yale School of Public Health, which estimated that the cost of ageism could reach up to $63 billion, just in terms of health costs in the United States alone. Research from the University of Kent highlights the impact ageism has in the workplace too. They found that the performance of older workers is affected by the stereotypes they encounter in the workplace, whether those stereotypes are merely perceived, or indeed even situations that remind them of stereotyping in their past. The harmful effects of ageism in the workplace are not a short-term problem either, but can rather harm our mental health over a prolonged period of time, says Doug Drysdale, CEO of mental healthcare company Cybin. Age discrimination can lead to a cascade of harmful consequences, including financial strain and depression, that can last far beyond the direct incidence itself. They discovered that this negative impact was particularly pronounced when the threat was induced by stereotypes rather than by facts. This stereotyping might be most harmful of all when it arrives via people who ordinarily are vocal opponents of discrimination. This unlikely scenario was described in a new paper by Stanford University, which showed that people who are keen supporters of both gender and racial equality at work might actually be more likely to discriminate based on age than their peers. Older people are often an easy target for discrimination at work. Mark Zuckerberg famously said that, "Younger people are just smarter," while Sun Microsystems co-founder Vinod Khosla suggested that, people over 45 basically die in terms of new ideas. That such opinions garnered such little criticism highlights how acceptable it is to discriminate against older people. The researchers note that ageism is almost condoned in American culture, as people don't really regard it as an ism at all, and certainly not on a par with sexism or racism. The researchers conducted a number of studies to explore this further. A key component of each of the studies was an attempt to measure the egalitarian advocacy level within each participant,